Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ogbanje Joseph. Please subscribe to this channel, share, like, as well as drop a comment on the comment section. So, we are continuing with our series on the strands of political ideology. Strands of political ideology. And so, today we are looking at capitalism. So, capitalism is an ideology that has a hydra-headed meaning. Sociologically, it is a system that is based on the principle of individual rights. Politically, it is a system of laissez-faire, which means freedom. Legally, it is a system of objective laws, that is rule of law as opposed to law of man. Economically, when such freedom is applied to the sphere of production, it results in free market. Now, capitalism is a full, pure, uncontrolled, unregulated laissez-faire with a separation of state and economics. Now, it was the ideology that was dominant after the feudalist era. This was possible because of the Industrial Revolution, which invariably made industries and factories take the place of land, and landed property that was a dominant phenomenon in the feudalist system. Capitalism is a political, social, and economic ideology that is based on the recognition of individual rights, in which all property is privately owned. Now, capitalism is an ideology that preaches private ownership of the means of production, distribution, and exchange. Now, it emphasizes industrialization, liberalization, deregulation, privatization, and globalization. Now, competitive markets, wage labor, capital accumulation, voluntary exchange, and personal finances are all considered in a capitalist economy. Now, under this arrangement, money is primarily the standardized medium of exchange and final means of payments that serves to measure the value of goods and commodities in a standard value. Now, according to the Marxists, human beings under capitalism are reduced to a piece of commodity because man can be hired and fired from the economic equation if he is not a capitalist. Now, this differentiation, is what gives rise to the conflict arising from class struggle between the capitalist or bourgeois class and the working class or the proletariat. Now, the evil that comes with the ideology or with this ideology are so much that it breeds a lot of social vices like armed robbery, prostitution, corruption, and so on. According to Marx, the evil of capitalism will continue until the working class stands up against the injustice and exploitation through social revolution, where there will be a withering away of the state and the eventual dictatorship of the proletariat. Now, the next strand of political ideology that I'll be looking at is socialism. Now, socialism is an ideology that advocates for collective ownership and administration of the means of production, distribution, and exchange in the society. It is an economic system characterized by social ownership, control of the means of production, and cooperative management of the economy. Now, according to Apodori, socialism may be defined as a movement which aims at the collective organization of the community in the interest of the mass of the people through the common ownership and collective control of the means of production and exchange. And to this end, all great industries and land should be publicly or collectively owned, and that they should be conducted in conformity with the national economic plan, for the common good instead of private benefits. Okay, now, now, Apadura, in a very lucid style, has wittingly pointed out from the above quotation that socialism is actually a movement from capitalism to communism where life will be more interesting. Now, the essence of socialism is to ensure that the equality of life, is to ensure that the quality of life and the comfort that man craves for is made available to him through a collective effort and collective utilization of societal commonwealth. There are many varieties of socialism, and there is no single definition for all of them. They differ in type, they differ in the type of ownership, social ownership, they advocate, the degree to which they rely on market versus planning, how management is to be organized within economic, enterprise, and the role of the state in constructing it. Now, these strands of socialism include but not limited to, first, the democratic socialism, which seeks to propagate the ideals of socialism within the context of democratic system. Now, the second type of socialism, is state socialism, which advocates for nationalization of the means of production, distribution, and exchange as a strategy for implementing socialism. The third type of socialism is libertarian socialism, which proposes the traditional view of direct workers' control of the means of production and oppose the use of state power to achieve such an arrangement, opposing both parliamentary politics and state ownership over the means of production. The next one is called modern socialism, which originated from the 18th century intellectual and working class political movement that criticized the effects of industrialization and private ownership on society, and it is also called utopian socialism, which was propounded by Robert Owen in 1771 and 1855. Now, Charles Fourier and Henry St. Simon, which is on self-sustaining communes by secession from capitalist society. Now, according to Karl Marx, socialism is a revolutionary ideology which is an alternative to the capitalist stage of human development. And that is why it is commonly referred to as left-wing political ideology. Now, Marx advocates, that because capitalism is evil, the only solution is social revolution, which will pull down capitalism and give way for socialism, which makes provision for everybody in the society, irrespective of one's economic status. It is an ideology in transition because it is to come in between capitalism and communism. Now, under socialism, the society is actually progressing. Society is actually undergoing a transformation or a transition from capitalism to communism. So socialism is actually like a midpoint between capitalism and communism. Now, under socialism, there is state ownership of the means of production, distribution, and exchange. So it is a collectivization of the economy. So the state owns the economy because the commanding height of the economy is actually controlled by the state, and the state will continue to hold the economy, in trust for the people. So what is important under socialism is that there is actually, a collective ownership of the means of production, distribution, and exchange. Now there is actually the state, of course, under this system, the state has the commanding height of the economy, and the state actually manages the economy on behalf of the people, unlike what happens in the capitalist era. Thank you very much.